Hi guys, this is Hyman, and in this video I'm going to show you how to load and read a dataset in Python using the Jupyter Notebook on VS Code. The main goal of this tutorial is to show us how we can easily load and read a dataset in Python programming language using the Jupyter Notebook, the popular Jupyter Notebook on VS Code as our code editor. So first of all, I'm sure we can see a folder which I have on my desktop, which I named as YouTube. So I'm actually going to open it. So I have a folder already opened on my desktop. I have it set up already. So I named this YouTube. So yeah, I'm going to open with my code editor, which is VS Code. So first of all, we're going to be making use of a Python library which helps us in loading and reading our data set. So first of all, I'm gonna take us through what pandas is. So what is pandas used for? So pandas is a Python library used for working with data sets. It has functions for analyzing, cleaning, exploring, and manipulating data. The name pandas has a reference to both panel data and Python data analysis, and it was created by Wes McKinney in the year 2008. So I'm sure, as we all know, we're reading a data set, we're loading a data set. Let me take us through what a data set is. So a data set can be used for many purposes, including training and testing, machine learning models, data visualization, research, or statistical analysis. Dataset can be shared publicly or privately. A dataset is typically smaller in size compared to a database. So now we have a basic understanding of what a dataset is used for. And in this tutorial video, we're gonna be loading and we're gonna read a dataset in Python programming language using the Jupyter Notebook. I already have my Jupyter Notebook installed on my code editor. I have my Jupyter Notebook installed on my code editor, and the dataset we're going to be using, I have it situated in my root directory. You understand? I have it situated in my root directory. So this dataset that you can actually see on my screen, they are dataset with high usability rates, which I actually sourced them from Cargo. I searched them from Cargo. Let me just say cargo.com. Yeah, I sourced them out from Cargo. So Cargo is a world data science, is the world's largest data science community with powerful tools and resources to help achieve your data science goals. There are lots of data sets on Cargo in different kind of formats depending on what you're using them for. So moving on, let's go back to our code editor, and first of all we're gonna create a file. We're gonna call it test dot, and then the extension for Jupyter Notebook is actually IPYNB. Yeah, good. It's actually IPYNB. So the extension is IPYNB, and the name of the file we're giving it is test. Good. That's test. So yeah, we save that and then we open. And now it's trying to detect the kernels, you know. And note, I already have Python installed, and I have Python installed. I already have Jupyter Notebook installed, and I have it all configured on my code editor. So if you want me to make a video on how to configure and set up Python, set up the Jupyter Notebook on your code editor, you just let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to make a video taking you through the process. But in today's video, I'm just going to show you how we can easily load and read a data set using the Jupyter Notebook. So yeah, moving on, it has detected our kernel which is actually from the Python version which I already have installed, which is the version 3.12.2. Yeah, so first of all, I'm gonna create a markdown. I'm gonna create a markdown. So a markdown is like a info telling the user or anyone reading your code that this is what you're about to do in the project. So this is taking the user through each and every step you're writing your code into. So first of all, we start by how do we write a markdown? We start with an hash. We start with an hash. If you are using loading and reading data data set in Python. So it's going to tell the user, then we'll execute the above cells. Yeah. So I think this is a little bit large. Let's add one more hash. Let's add one more hash and we're going to say, yeah, good. So if that's a little bit reduced. So we're telling the user that we're loading and reading a data set in Python. So yeah. So moving on, this is actually the code section. You can actually add code cell. This is a code cell. So first of all, what are we going to do? We're gonna copy the first of all let's just keep writing our code. So first of all, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna import our pandas library. We're gonna import our pandas library. So first of all, before you import the pandas library, we should make sure we have it installed on our operating system. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do that by coming to our command prompt and we're gonna say pip install pandas. I'm sure we know what pandas means by now. So yeah, it's trying to download and install directly from our terminal. So yeah, let's give it a few seconds. Let's minimize this and we okay, yeah, it's done already. It was that. Oh yeah, it was that quick because I already have it installed. That's why it's saying requirements already satisfied. So I have pandas installed on my operating system, so we don't have to wait for too long anymore. So next thing we're doing right now is to import our pandas into our test file. So we're gonna do that by saying import, then we're gonna say pandas, then we're gonna say pandas as pd. We're gonna say pandas as pd. Now we're importing pandas and we're gonna call it pd. You understand? So what are we gonna do now? We're gonna execute this cell. We do that by clicking on this button. Then it's trying to connect to the kernel version. The kernel is trying to connect to the kernel, and then after the kernel has been discovered, then it should start running the cell. So now it has started running the cell. Let's see how long it will take for it to import pandas into the file. So yeah, it took 9.8 seconds for it to import pandas. So what are we doing next? We are creating a new code cell, and then inside the new code cell we are going to say dataset, then we'll say equals to pd, which is pandas, then we'll say dot read underscore csv. So where first of all we are reading a data set, and data sets, there are a lot of formats of data sets. So let's check the data set we're going to make use of. Let's pick news. So let's copy this and paste it into the folder, the YouTube folder, which we are using in the video, which I created for the purpose of the video. So this is the data set, and let's check for the properties of the data set. So for us to know the kind of extension the data set is having, we should go through the properties, because there are some data set that they come with the format of X, SLX, that's an Excel format, and JSON format. There are lots of formats of data sets. So in this is having an extension of .csv. You understand, as we can see here. So we're gonna be reading this in the CSV format. So let's close this and we'll come back here and we're gonna say underscore. I'm sure you can see Excel. We have the JSON. We have the PDM, HDF. So there are lots. We have the XML format. We have the SQL format. So any kind of data set you're reading, just declare it here. So I'm using CSV format. So I'm going to say CSV, read CSV, and I'm going to open a bracket, and I'm going to call it the name. I'm going to say news.csv. I'm sure you can see it because we have the data set already in the YouTube folder. You understand? You can name the folder whatever you want to name it. So I just prefer to name it the folder YouTube, and I sent the data set directly into the YouTube. I copied the data set directly into the YouTube folder so it can actually locate it. So what are we doing now? We're going to execute this code cell. Yeah, now it's executed. Now it has successfully read our data set. It has successfully read our data set. It's loaded now. So we're going to be performing few operations on the data set for us to be assured that our data set has been loaded and read successfully. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to make use of some functions. Let's just say data set dot add. So what is this gonna do? It is going to give us the first 5 rows of the data set, the first 5 rows in the data set. So it's actually going to give us the first 5 rows in the data set. Let's just run this, and now I'm sure we can see it is giving us the first 5 rows, which is actually indexed as what? Is indexed as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand? The normal numerical value is 1 to 5. You understand? Which is the first 5 rows, and the indexing format is actually let me take us through a brief of what indexing is in Python is. So in Python, indexing refers to the process of accessing a specific element in a sequence, such as a string or list, using its position or index number. So indexing in Python starts at 0, which means that the first element in a sequence has an index of 0. The second element has an index of 1, and so on. So as we can see here, the indexing here is starting from 0, and we said it should give us the head. So anytime we use this method, this function returns the rows, the first 5 rows for the object based on position. You understand? So default is 5. So it's giving us the first 5 rows. You understand? On the data set. So now it is giving us the first 5 rows, which is indexed as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what the data set looks like. The data set has a column of ID. It has a column of the timestamp. It has a column of the source. It has a column of the title, and it has a column of description. You understand? So now we can actually just indicate it here that, okay, yeah, we want the first 10 rows. Then we're just going to input it here and we'll run the cell again. Then it's going to be giving us the first 10 rows, which is actually indexed as what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what are we doing here? We have successfully what did we do here? We have successfully loaded, and we have read the data set using the head method. I'm sure we can see. So let's just leave it as the default. Let's just leave it as the default. Yeah, let's just leave it as the default. So the head, we have made use of the head method. So what else can we do? I think there's also a method called let's just say dataset dot there's also a method called tail. Yeah, yeah. There's also a method called tail. Good. So yeah, how I think this is actually, yeah, this is actually good. This is actually going to give us the number of rows. Do you understand? The last 5 rows from the data set. So let's run it and let's see what's gonna give us. So now I'm sure you can see. I'm sure you can see. I'm sure we can see. It's giving us the wow. It actually has 193,278 rows. Whoa, it has 193,278 rows. So it's giving us the last 5 rows, which is indexed as 193,274, 193,275, 193,276, 193,277, 193,278. So yeah, we have performed another operation using the tail method. I'm sure we can see here. So now, finally, let's just do this. Let's just say data set dot shape. Let's just say data set dot shape. Good. So this is actually dataset.shape. I think this method return the tuple, the dimensionality of the data. You understand, of the data set. So it automatically gave us it gave us the total number of both the rows and the column in the data set, consisting in the data set. So as you can see here, that the data set consists of 193,279 rows with 5 colons. I'm sure we can see it has the first column is the ID, the second column is the timestamp, the third column is the source, the fourth column is the title, and the fifth column is what? The description. I'm sure we can see it is just as easy as that. So in this video, we have successfully loaded and we have successfully read a data set using the head method, the tail method, and the shape method, using a data set called the news.csv alongside our pandas library. So yeah, that is all on this tutorial. See you next time. This is Hyman. The head method, the tail method, and the shape method, using a data set called the news.csv alongside our pandas library. So yeah, that is all on this tutorial. See you next time. This is Hyman.